Hello, myself K. Shivesh, and we will talk about history. Welcome to Sriram IS. Actually, I wanted to convey you that we are going to start a crash course on Unacademy, and it will be a 5-day session that will be a random round in which we will acquaint with some of the hot issues and the burning issues of the history that is expected in examination. And we will discuss some papers also, that is PYQ, in order to give a good chance of your understanding. So we will start with some basic concepts in the history, and then how it is connected to the current affairs, and at the same time the issues on which generally UPSC focused in examination. We will cover all ancient, medieval and modern history where question is expected. So look in the perspective of the question analysis, ancient, medieval, art and culture and modern India. Now these days UPSC had made all the 5 fingers equal, and we are giving equal emphasis on all these 5 aspects of the history, equal emphasis, because they are asking question from the ancient at the same proportion with the medieval, art and culture and the modern India. So we have to give intensive engagement in dealing with the subject. So there are certain tricks to study the subject. Normally students, they understand that we have to remember so many facts, but change your priority now. Rather than remembering the facts in chronological order, give more emphasis on the chronology of the events and understand the causes and the consequences in a proper order. There is nothing complexities or there is no rocket science. Make it very simple, and causes and the consequences of any topic that you must have some clarity or the good degree of clarity, then years will automatically fit inside. So there is no memory test, but it is basically a test of analysis, and that is the reason why prelims is a kind of approach that you don't give so much emphasis on the memory, rather you give focus on understanding. And the technical part is that you must go understand the causes and the consequences in a proper chronological order. Suppose we take the example of the phase of Gandhi, and we started from the advent of Gandhi in 1915. So here you must understand that how Gandhi had started the politics in India, and what are the events that Gandhi got inspired to enter in the political scenario of India. So not only the politics, the factors that presented the political structure of India that helped Gandhi in understanding the political theme of India, at the same time events also you have to remember. So look at the story. Story format is the best way to link any event, and it will help you in removing some of the hurdles which is a very much integrated events at a time, because the story connects only one dots. So here Gandhi came and he had a meeting with Gokhale. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he was a seasoned campaigner in Indian politics, a veteran moderate leader. And Gopal Krishna Gokhale gave 2 fundamental lessons to Gandhi before Gandhi would start the politics. This is the year 1915 when Gandhi came to India, 9th January 1915, which is every year Government of India celebrated it as NRI Day. So 9th January 1915. And the year 1915 itself, Gandhi had a meeting with Gokhale. And Gokhale gave two fundamental lessons to Gandhi. Look, as the perspective of the age, the Gandhi and Gokhale, they are not so much junior or senior. You can see 1866 was the birth of Gokhale and 1869 was the birth of Gandhi. So only 3 years senior in Indian politics. But as far as the politics in India is concerned, Gokhale was a veteran moderate leader of the Congress. So after taking the lessons from Gokhale, and unfortunately Gokhale died, and the responsibility to carry forward the legacy of Gokhale in the perspective of Gandhian event has to be taken by. So therefore it was a very important dimension to understand this type of lessons before we start assessing the years and dates and making the things very complicated. So story format is the best way that you can link various events, and thereafter you can make your memory also very much perfect. So Gokhale. Look, as per the advice of Gokhale, Gandhi had taken the tour of entire India by bullock cart or the foot, and then he connected to the people. Gandhi encouraged Indian youth to join the British army. Gandhi said that Britain is in difficulty, and if you help British, British will help you. So this fundamental was followed by Gandhi till he had developed the approach of non-cooperation towards the Britishers. So initial journey of Gandhi in India had started as a cooperator to the British, as loyal to the British, and this cooperation and loyalty he maintained till 1918. But in 1919, which is a turning year in the history of Gandhi's relation with the British. You know, sometimes the position of the British also became so dangerous that 1919 it became the turning year in the history of Gandhi's relation with the British. Like Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh incident. It's not only the incidents, but the approach of British towards dealing with such incidents was also very dangerous. Approach of British towards dealing with such reference was also very dangerous. In fact, the British tried to downplay the Jallianwala Bagh incident, and then British not only praised General Dyer, but the British media, British public, they encouraged General Dyer and called his act as a heroic act. There was a British newspaper, Morning Post, who conducted charity for General Dyer, and thousands of the pounds was collected. So meanwhile, the report of Hunter Committee, which was constituted to inquire the incidents of Jallianwala Bagh, it successfully acquitted General Dyer from all charges. So that fundamental of the British government and approach, that actually led to the emotional breakdown. After the report of Hunter Committee, Gandhi said that it is not British government in India is bad, but whole British system is bad. And cooperation in any form with this satanic government is sin. So that is the reason why I said that 1919 was a turning year in the history of Gandhi's relation with the British. And approach of the British had changed significantly. So in this perspective, how you will remember the fact, this is the year 1915 to 1918, where we call Gandhi the cooperator and the loyalist. Gandhi, he led the movement that is called Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Immediately, you put down all the facts and figures of Champaran Satyagraha. Then 1918, there was Ahmedabad mill strike and Khera peasant movement. So therefore, these two events, these 2 years, was enough to explain that how Gandhi beautifully generated huge support of the peasant and labor. That too within 3 years. So here, in this fundamental of Gandhi's technique, Gandhi came to India in 1915. He was not a leader, not even a peasant leader. And thereafter, he started working around the peasants and workers all of his own. And at the same time, you will find that the Gandhi's process was led to a wide acceptance. His technique of mass mobilization was well recognized. And that is the reason entire India, peasant and the laborers, came in support of Gandhi. And by 1918, he was undisputed mass leader. Thereafter, he entered in Congress. And you can say the Gandhi means Congress and Congress means Gandhi. Already, the Guruji of Gandhi, that is Gokhale, had made it very clear that do not join political organization which can influence you. Join the organization which you can influence. And after such a huge support when Gandhi entered in Congress, he was the real mass leader of the Congress. So that is the Gandhi's objectivity was based on his action-based politics. He never believed in the philosophical dimension, but he believed more in the practical ways to connect with the people. And then 1915 to 1918, this Champaran Satyagraha, Ahmedabad and Khera, you put all the facts and figures here and maintain the position that Gandhi was a cooperator and loyal to the British. Maintain this position. During this period only, the Gandhi gave the title of Kasur-e-Hind because of his loyalty to the British. Since the Africa Boers War and the First World War, so Gandhi got the title of Kasur-e-Hind from the Britishers. So you can understand the tuning between Gandhi and the Britishers. But in the second part of this 1919, the turning year in the history of Gandhi's relation with the British, that means the Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh incident. So it had given an emotional jolt to the British, emotional jolt to the Gandhi in relation with the British, because the way that British government had responded to the massacre of Jallianwala Bagh incident, it was definitely a biggest jolt to the understanding of the Gandhi's perspective towards the Britishers. And then Gandhi started gearing up for the mass movement. So here in the second block, that is Rowlatt Act, you must put down all the facts in figures and the line by line. Right? Jallianwala Bagh, all the facts and figures in the line by line. Gandhi, immediately after these two events, forwarded a condition that British government must apologize for Jallianwala Bagh incident. Otherwise, Congress will go for the mass movement. But you know, there was a Government of India Act 1919, same year. 1919 Government of India Act, diarchy was introduced. And the diarchy was giving opportunity to the Indians to become minister in the provinces. I hope you understand the meaning of diarchy. And we will make it clear here on the spot that what is diarchy, which subject was in the hands of Indian, which subject was in the hands of the governor. The question which was last time we have a direct question from this Government of India Act 1919. So some congressmen, they wanted to cooperate with the government. under the Government of India Act 1919, DRK. So some congressmen wanted to cooperate with the government. But like we have C.R. Das, Annie Besant, Motilal Nehru, they were not in favor of launching the non-cooperation movement. But Gandhi convinced them, and thereafter non-cooperation movement had started. So this is the way that you can understand the causes and the consequences by simple language and by simple understanding. And this is the best way that you can learn history without any trouble. So remove the psychology that it is a difficult subject. This is the easiest subject that you have, and you can remember the n number of facts, but avoid memorizing them and focus on the understanding them. And then I told you many times in the most of the classes, I used to say that identify your strength and strengthen them. Weakness removal is secondary. This is the difference between UPSC preparation and the war. In war, you identify your weakness. And here in UPSC, you should identify your strength. And that strength will work actually in examination. Weakness may desert you. Weakness may ditch you. But strength will never. And only strength will put you in the final list. But the approach should be what I told you. This is the way that you will overcome n number of facts and other difficulties in examination. Okay, fine. Then suppose in medieval India also, suppose you are reading Akbar and you are reading the religious policy of Akbar. No doubt, you know n number of facts, but how you will start in getting some clear picture. Suppose we talk about that Akbar. Look, Akbar was called secular, Akbar was called liberal. His secularism and the liberalism could be understood in two perspectives. First perspective is that Akbar was inherently liberal because he born and brought up in a very liberal atmosphere. He was out of Sunni fundamentalist model. He was in the patronage of Bairam Khan, himself he was a Shia. Bairam Khan appointed Hindu priest, Jewish priest, Jain priest for primary socialization of Akbar. So therefore, he born and brought up in a very liberal and secular atmosphere. This is a very clear point. But second point, look at his skill of a very realistic administrator. He realized that even after the hundreds of the years of the advent of Islam in India, the Islamic ruling system is fundamentally contradictory. The vast majority of Hindu population could not accept the Islamic rule. So if we want to give firm stability to the Mughal Empire, you have to get in alliance with a very powerful Indianized element. Akbar realized that there are two military markets in India. One is the Afghan and second is Rajput. Since Mughal snatched power from the Afghans, so it was unlikely that Afghan would remain loyal to Mughal. Therefore, Akbar had obvious choice of Rajput. Rajput, obviously the big military market. So how to integrate Rajput? Because Rajput is a very strong Hindu element, Hindu social group. So how to integrate Rajput in Mughal system? Akbar had to follow liberal and secular policies. So his liberalism and secularism, one factor is by default and second factor is vis-a-vis to Rajput policy. So this is the way that you understand the dimension of Akbar. And at the same time, you lay down all the policies with proper understanding of the policies. That 1562 he abolished slavery. The war prisoners should not become slave. That is another message was given by Akbar to the Rajput, because Akbar understands that it's going to be a bitter war with the Rajput, and therefore if you create enmity, hostility forever, no. So war prisoners could not become slaves, so he abolished the slavery. 1563, another big message he gave, he abolished the pilgrimage tax. How beautifully he wanted to integrate the various sections of Indian society. Hindus, they had to pay the tax while visiting to their religious places. 1564, he abolished jizya. So initially a human face, now turning into the very good reformer. And then 1575, Ibadat Khana. Debate about what is Ibadat Khana, where Ibadat Khana was, and then what is purpose of Ibadat Khana. So Akbar, he was very much convinced that the various section of Indian society has to be integrated. But main problem was the difference between Shia and Sunni. Himself he was illiterate, he could not read Quran or Shariat, so himself he was illiterate. So therefore, he invited the priest of Shia and Sunni to have a debate in front of Akbar on any religious views, and thereafter he was able to manage understanding about the religion. Later on he opened the Ibadat Khana for other religion also. So all the religious priests, they gave discourse, and Akbar used to listen them, and thereafter he get convinced that truth is not only prerogative of Islam, but elements of truth found in every religion, and debate at Ibadat Khana greatly shaped the Akbar's secular and religious views. Then 1579 Mazharnama. 1579 there was Mazharnama. 1582 there was Deen-e-Ilahi. All these pictures had presented a very liberal and secular atmosphere of Akbar's view and Akbar's understanding. So therefore, how you will remember these facts? The only way is that you must understand what is in Mazharnama, why the Mullahs and Maulvis opposed Mazharnama, and 1582, what is the policy of Sulh-e-Kul and what is the policy of Deen-e-Ilahi. So therefore, you must develop the proper understanding and logic in a very simple ways. Remember one thing, the things which you are not getting even after repeated study, consider it that it is a useless. So things which is understandable to you, things which is giving you the best picture, it is only useful thing to you, and thereafter your strength will be identified. And remember the golden word that you have to strengthen your strength. This is a way, that approach you have to follow. But anything you must be presented in a very lucid format in order to have a proper adaptability and acceptability of the whole concept. Otherwise, if I will deliver very complex, hazy, mixing, then you may not. We understand the limitations as a student, that you are in a position to accept which fundamental up to what level as per the requirement of examination. So here at Sriram IS, we will definitely going to launch this program for the best benefit at the 11th hour of your examination. So hope you will get benefit a lot, and wish you good luck in coming days. Join with us. Thank you so much.